Custom A-pillars for your front stage are totally awesome, but they're either a ton of work or they're gonna cost you an arm and a leg. So if you want to save some time and money, check out this box right here that CustomSpeakerPods.com sent to me to review. I've worked with these people before. I did a video showing off their pods a while ago, and since then they have really upped their game. They now stock complete 2- and 3-way speaker kits to go in a wide variety of their pods, and I want to thank them for sending these pods to me so I can review them. Up until now, the only color available was black with a textured finish, and now they offer a wide range of different finishes, plus a few more products. More on all that in just a bit. Let's take a look at these speaker pods. Now they sent me 2 sets of their A-pillar pods, both of them in a carbon fiber finish. At first glance, they look identical, but one is a bit larger than the other. And that larger one is going to bring your speakers out further from the A-pillar and kind of wrap around the A-pillar. Let me run these out to the truck and I'll show you what I mean. This is the smaller pod. Notice the distance between the pod and the door, as well as the angle of the pod. And here's the larger pod. It wraps around the A-pillar and aims the speakers more towards the occupants of the vehicle. So with the larger pod, your speakers are going to be just a little bit more on axis. You'll also notice that these don't have any speaker holes in them, and they usually come with speaker cutouts, but I asked them to send some out without any speaker cutouts because I wasn't sure what speakers I was going to use in this video. And hey, if you order some speakers to go in the pods, they will cut a perfectly sized hole for you. It looks like the best way to DIY those speaker cutouts is with a hole saw. One of these sets had a small indent right in the center, and the other had a pilot hole right in the center. Best advice for cutting your own holes: be careful. The hole saw might grab the plastic and try to jerk this thing out of your hand. I couldn't figure out an easy way to clamp it down to the table, so if you do this, just keep in mind that it's like any other DIY project. You're doing it at your own risk. What I found did work is I could reverse my drill and just kind of burn through the plastic instead of cutting it. Now for the tweeter, I'm going to use this small silk dome tweeter that I got from Parts Express. And I didn't have the right size hole in my good, expensive hole saw kit, so I had to break out the cheap kit. Funny enough, the cheap hole saw didn't grab when it came into contact with the plastic. I think that's because it had more teeth. The more expensive hole saw seems to work better for cutting through a bunch of wood. This one seems to work better for plastic. And that just goes to show that because a thing is more expensive, that does not mean that it's better. I guess I might as well drill out the rest of the holes while I have the hole saw installed in my drill. And I'll need to pick out some speakers. So like I said before, I wasn't sure what size I needed because I wasn't sure what speaker I'm going to use. So I've got a few examples of what I was thinking. This is a driver that Celestion sent me, and the problem with it is it has these big dog ears. So here's the smaller pod, and again, the dog ears stick out. There's no way to position it where they don't stick out. If you turn around to the back side, you see there's not a lot of room for that big honking magnet. This is a little driver from Parts Express, a little Dayton Audio. I was thinking about this one because it has a carbon fiber looking cone. Same problem though, a square frame. No matter how I positioned it, tabs always stick out. So even though I think this one would look good, this one's a no-go. This one right here is my next option. This used to be in the front stage of my pickup truck. This is the TC9. It is a hidden gem. It really punches above its weight. So if you're looking for something really inexpensive that sounds amazing, this is a good driver. I'll be sure to give you a link to it. That square frame's kind of awkward, but it flushes up pretty well with the sides. So I'm gonna go with this one right here. Now before I do that, I want to show you something else. When they sent me the pods, they included a few samples of their new grills. They make several different designs, all in their new colors. Here is a honeycomb grill. I think this is the stainless steel color. It makes for a nice contrast with the all black speakers, pods, and the door. This one looks a little bit like a snowflake. And here is a radioactivity symbol in the carbon fiber finish. It's not actual carbon fiber, it's just a carbon fiber finish. I do believe the plastic is ABS and it's plenty strong to protect your speakers. This style is called Vortex. And here in the chrome finish, we have some kind of leaf. I'm not a botanist, I don't know what kind of leaf it is. I guess this is for all those plant lovers out there that want to show off how much you love plants. If you want to pick up any of these grills or some pods for your own ride, use the promo code DIYAG for a 10% discount. I'll be sure to put that code down below somewhere where it's easy for you to find. Right here I've got the right and left A-pillars from the truck. Well, no, not really. These came from the pull apart. You will have to drill holes in your trim for both the screws and the speaker wire. It's worth it to go to the junkyard and grab some parts off of a wrecked truck. Even if you don't mind cutting into your own actual trim pieces, you might mess something up, and at the very least, it'll be handy to have the spare parts. Take a second to make sure you have everything oriented correctly. This here is roughly where the left A-pillar would be if I were sitting in the driver's seat. Go ahead and label the left and the right and mark out the pod location. Because if you don't, you're going to get these things turned around in your head and you're going to mess something up. The small pod set seems to already have screw holes in them. The large pod set does not. That really doesn't matter because you still need to drill screw holes into the A-pillar trim. Here's a little trick. Grab some double-sided tape and use it to hold the pods into position while you're drilling. It's always smart to start with a smaller bit and drill a pilot hole, then grab a larger bit and drill out that smaller hole to fit your hardware. When you order the pods, you can specify the mounting hardware. For these pods here, the two options were black oxide or stainless steel, and they throw these in at no extra charge. They also include some nylon lock nuts. That way you don't have to worry about the nuts backing themselves off due to vibration. After you get all your holes drilled, you can always put down some gasket material to make sure you have a nice seal against your A-pillar. You're going to need a very small Allen key and a 10mm deep socket. I'm going to be using this cheap electric screwdriver here. If you use an impact driver, make sure it has a clutch. You don't want to break anything. You're also going to need to drill some screw holes to mount your speakers. You can mark those out with a Sharpie. Both of the drivers that I'm using come with a gasket. If you don't have a gasket, you're going to want to add one. At this point, you're going to want to go ahead and drill a hole in your A-pillar trim panel so you can run your speaker wire. I'll do that at some point in the future, but for now I want to go ahead and just get these pillars mounted so you can see what they look like when they're in the vehicle. I did that off camera, so here they are. I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out, but that's not the best part. I was able to install this in just a few hours. These are designed to be quick and easy. It took me a little bit of extra time because I had to drill my own holes, but the reality is that installing these things is no more difficult than installing 12 screws. And all you need are some basic tools that a lot of regular people are going to have just lying around. A drill and some bits, a screwdriver, an Allen key, and a socket set. You don't have to fool around with fiberglass, Bondo, paint, glue, or anything like that. You don't have to waste time waiting for those things to dry, and you're not going to burn an entire weekend sanding. This is the easy way to do A-pillar. To learn more about these door pods, click right here. Click down here to subscribe. And before I go, I need to say thank you to all of my patrons, including $25 patrons, Bo, Dylan, Fargo, JD America, David, and Baba. I'm Justin. This is the DIY Audio Guy YouTube channel. I'll see you on the next one.